Hello, leaders of Wild Thoughts, with your host, The Big Bang. Welcome to another knowledge drip that is just that, a knowledge drip of life, a knowledge drip of storm, and a knowledge drip of where you could possibly and easily fail through multiple sources throughout the day, and how, if you think these failures are permanent, that you will be a permanent failure. But if you think that these failures are lessons and teachings of ways, lessons in the way of how money works, lessons in the way of thoughts and suggestions, oh yeah, man, I had a pretty good week. Got to work a lot, got to write a lot, got to work on my knowledge drip, that is this. So I have written a lot as I go through my first bottle of water for the day. Hopefully you have one. And let's start off with what I have written down. I think I wrote this on Thursday of this week. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's hear what I have to write about that. Jump into some more law of success stuff. And then I also want to go over crowd mentality. How to think when you're in a crowd, what drives a crowd mentality, and luckily for us, that has been brought upon us today. So, I know I might seem like I have all the greatest enthusiasm in the world right now, and that's because I truly do. I have the enthusiasm within me. I can feel the enthusiasm coursing through my brain veins. I can see them. They're not much different from the ones on your hands, the dirt in your fingernails. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's not much different. And the enthusiasm that I'm having today, the self-confidence that I'm ejecting out all over this world is going to be something of amazement, something of wonderment unto something that has never been seen before. Now, you might be asking, hasn't this already been seen before? Hasn't someone already done this? Of course someone has already done this. That's the only reason I know it's possible. But not the only reason that I know it's possible. Is also because I'm not doing the same thing. Or maybe I am doing the same thing. I can't fucking tell what's going on in this tiny little world of ours. I can't decide who to support. I can't decide who to trust. It's hard to be out in this about world with a bunch of people living their best lives, and you can see them living their best lives, and it's good. It's knowledge and proof that people are out there living their best lives, even though I don't even know what that means. But that's just a saying they're saying these days. They're saying best life, living my best life. Of course you are. What would be your other best life? The one as you get eaten and turn into something else? Or the other one where you don't get eaten and you turn into something else? You know, I don't know. I don't know much about it. I haven't died yet. So I can't report on it, even though I probably could. They have plenty of studies. You could just watch Bones for hours. You could watch criminal justice mind blowers for hours. And life would be hecka peachy. Be real simple today. Now, I don't know where the fuck that was going, but let's go ahead and jump into what I have written for this week's knowledge drip. Here we go. We're going to start around 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So go ahead and take a breath, take a breather, enjoy whatever you're drinking, and enjoy your breath. Here we go. Around 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Hello, listeners of the greatest knowledge drip in the world. As we find out who we are and work on our future, we should digest back to the past 2 episodes on the thoughts of autosuggestion. The part of our life, our thoughts, and our words we accomplish and get what we say. The smallest thing you want to accomplish, one of the biggest fears you want to accomplish, one of your hates, and I know, through intense knowledge, the power of autosuggestion. I use this unknown power mostly not for my benefit. I would say things like, I don't have enough money, or without even trying, or before I went to work, I would affirm that I hated my job. I hated working. And for me, it would place a negative thought in my subconscious mind. And I would carry it throughout my day, unhappy, unmotivated, thinking that I was getting underpaid. My work I did was not that good. All the money I would make would be gone, and I would still be unhappy. My self-suggestions that I just talked about would always return to full tuition to me. I had limited to no knowledge that what I told myself is how I would get in return. Fortunately for me, I got to experience failure for years, thinking that I would forever be the broke, unsuccessful person. Lucky and glad I was when I clicked on a YouTube page, and a guy named Alan Watts started talking, and I listened to it with no idea what he was saying. But I continued to listen and dwell in what he was saying. It took me about 6 months of listening, reading and writing to understand what he was saying. And not even understand, but before my subconscious mind took over through suggestion, then onto autosuggestion. And now, 3 years later, and many other philosophers' knowledges, I am able to begin the process of the age of thinking man. Dear listeners, I'm aware of the struggles of life as we drink some more water, because one of the struggles in life is your mouth gets real thirsty when you talk. Let's start over where I am aware of the struggles of life, but now I am fully aware of my possibilities. I am grateful for the ability to understand truth and justice. Our truth is what we say, and no matter what you say, will be truth to you, and you are the only person that the truth needs to be true to. Dear listeners of Wild Thoughts, place in your heart what you want, and think about what you want. Then go out and do the actions, and continue to think about what you are. And what of you want. Hold it persistently, and it will manifest its possibilities into a way of being for you. Ooh. So, that's what I had written a couple days ago. It's on the thought of autosuggestion. Just because autosuggestion is what we tell ourselves on a daily basis. Just like I went over, I would say that I hate my job. I would say that my job doesn't pay me enough money. I would say this and that. And instead of looking for the possibilities in the job world, for example, like the job that sometimes I get to go out and do, where I just sit there and do nothing. Sometimes I don't take full advantage of the opportunities at hand out there. And you got to be able to take those full opportunities when they come available unto you. And now it took me a minute to realize that I have tons of possibilities for me. Tons of ways to make money while I'm making money. To be, the law of habit, the law of saving, and the law of success, so that you can save that extra $50. You can save that extra $100 a month you need to. You can easily find the ways to control your thoughts and beings. You can control how much money you have. You can control the way the money comes in. You can control how you want to live your basic little shit life until you get burned up in the eternity of circle of life. But I have a few ideas that I want to go over. Oh shit, there it goes. I'm holding my lighter in my hand. I like to flip it in my hand and burn it. Turn the flame on. Hear that? It's hot. Global warming is real, people, because of the flame. But as I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. Damn it. Sometimes I should not, get off those what I'm saying. And then it gets all messed up. And the world gets a little slow. You forget what you're talking about. But that's just life. And that's why we went over the retention. Went over memory. Went over some other stuff in the last episode as well, but that I need to go over again. Obviously, I need to work on a few things here with my retention, my recall, and my recognitions of the memory of the brain. I remember that though, so it's kind of starting to wear in. Oh man, it's gonna take a lot of time, and it's not gonna be simple, and it's not going to be hard. It's going to be as easy as you make it. So you're going to tell yourself whether you're good at it or not. You're going to have days where you feel sick. You're going to have days where your body hurts and your limbs hurt. You're going to have days. And you're going to have nights. And you're going to have days and nights. And you're going to have snow days and sunny days and all types of days that are needed in order for you to continue your seed of growth, seed of failure. Because I really enjoy the thought of failure. I really do. Failing is something, as I see, as a success towards your goals. Failure is meaning you're trying sometimes. But also failure means that you didn't try. And you can see the difference between if you tried and failed and then didn't try and failed. Either way, either whether you tried and failed or you failed, just know that it was the easiest choice for you to do, the easiest choice for you to make. And that's why you make your life easy. And you can say that to yourself. You can say, I make my life easy. I control my future. I control my past. I guess you can't control your past, but you can say, I control my now. I can control my breathing. Which is another thing as we lead in towards breath, as we lead in towards plastic bottle destruction. I want to go over something with you guys real quick. And it's a quote by the great Alan Watts, one of my favorite philosophers out there. He gets my mind working. And I wanted to give you, great listeners, this quote if you have yet to heard it. But it goes a little something like this, and it goes right off the top of my recall and retention and recognition. That's part of my memory cycles right there. I'm getting this shit. It's easier than you think it is. But here's what he said. There is nothing to do except watch what happens. But what is happening is watching itself. There is nobody apart from it watching it. Alan Watts. Now, let me say that to you one more time. There is nothing to do except watch what happens. Now, what does that mean to just accept and watch what happens? That's what you got to do. It just makes sense. You just got to accept it. You got to see it. And you got to watch it as it happens. And just believe that, this is how it's supposed to happen. No reason to get angry, upset, tired, frustrated with yourself. That's just going to cause you a whole bunch of mental pains. So there's nothing to do except watch what happens. Just watch what happens. See what happens. And then go with the failure of it, what is, and continue to watch what happens with the failure, and watch what happens when you tweak one word, watch what happens when you tweak 3 words, watch what happens when you tweak 100 words. Okay? So watch what happens. Don't stress about it. Keep it easy. Now let's go over the second part of this. But what is happening is watching itself. There is nobody apart from watching it. But what is happening is watching itself. There is nobody apart from watching it. Now, what do you think of that? There is nobody apart from it watching it. What does that mean to you? What does that entail for you? Do you have your notebook near? Do you have your fucking notebook by you? You need your goddamn fucking notebook. look at your goddamn notebook. Write this shit down. I'm going to tell it to you one more time. I'm going to start from the very beginning of what this is. Just because this one quote makes you think about 100 different things. This quote sings 100 different laws of eternal bliss into it. And if you can find and hear that tune of eternal bliss from this one song of sound and one sound of movement, you might be able to understand your bowel movements. Now let's start over from the very beginning of what Alan Watts had said. There is nothing to do except watch what happens. But what is happening is watching itself. There is nobody apart from it watching it. There's nobody apart from it watching it. That's just the thing. And I don't know why that hit me so gratefully in the Temple Dome. But it just makes sense because what is happening is watching itself. Because essentially, maybe he's saying that you're part of that thing that is. You are the water bottle sitting on the counter. You are the car sitting in the driveway. You are your neighbor yelling at the cat for taking a poop on the lawn. You are the cat that took the poop on the lawn that is now getting yelled at from it watching it. Itself is manifesting all over. Now this is probably super controversial, but that's what we're going for. And a lot of people are writing into the show about how controversial this knowledge drip is. They say it's not going with the times of today. But I said, what other times would it be going with? Because it can't go with the times of tomorrow. It can only go with the times of today, the times of now, the breathing of now, the atmosphere of now. Because what is happening is watching itself. It's just watching itself. It's watching itself grow. It's watching itself eliminate its life form and render service upon the thought of rendering it. And it's just amazing to think that what is happening is watching itself. I never thought about that before. I never took my time to meditate and breathe on it, not even for 5 seconds. But hopefully if you just took your 5 seconds and you got your notepad and your book out and you were writing some stuff down, hopefully you got down that quote. I'm going to say it one more time. There is nothing to do except watch what happens. But what is happening is watching itself. There is nobody apart from watching it. All right. That's pretty much it. That is about right ready where we can wrap that shit up. And you can talk about it and you can think about it and you can write it down and you can come up with some good suggestions and then you can write them into the motherfucking show. You can write in at reflife32@gmail.com. All right. Now that's enough of that. Take a break. Before we get into this next part, I want to go over one of my other goals. It's not really it's always been the goal. It's always been one of my definite chief aim in life. After I read the book the first time, The Law of Complete Success in 16 Lessons, the first time I read it, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I want to be, and I know how hard it's going to drip out. I know I said hard. It's going to be easy to drip out. The hard part is just starting the fucking process. It really is. That's the hardest part about doing a lot of shit. It's just starting, because you're not going to start off 100% every time. You're going to start off a little slow. You're going to start off a little fast. You're going to fail a few times. And that's the hardest part about doing anything in this tiny, microscopic, ungenius, criticized world, is that you can have the mind ability to know what you want to do, but not start the process because you're afraid of something. You're afraid of what somebody says. But like Ice Cube says, do your thing, man. Fuck what they're looking at. And you got to remember, you got to take that straight to your whole head. You got to do your thing. Fuck what they're looking at. You got to do what you got to do in order to make your amazing mind illusions that you create come to a full, powerful reality source. And, you know, my goal is to become a speaker, a very motivational speaker. And I'm not really the greatest, most enthusiasm person all the time. Sometimes I'm just somber and want to chill out and just talk about some shit I wrote just for the fucking fun of it. But right now, I'm practicing on becoming a very private speaker that will enthusiasm life in millions of people. And it's already, the works are already in motion. The crowds have already been assembled. The thought and leaders have been torn and destroyed through the thought process. Because it's easy to tear someone down with a thought, with a word, with a word. Because there's a lot of weak motherfuckers out here in this place. You can tear them down with words so easy. Oh yeah, you can. It makes life good. You better learn your words. You better learn how to talk. Because when you learn how to talk, you can learn to build people up. And you can also learn to fucking take them down. And, you know, it's not always about peace and love. Sometimes you gotta take motherfuckers down. Beat them to the ground. Maybe you can tell them a little something here, a little something there. Boom, before they know it, they're questioning their whole belief system. And you're tearing them apart from the inside. And you know why that's funny? It's because words, sounds, vibrations, in harmony, and perfected in a tone of life will easily make somebody crumble to the ground. Easily destroy their thought process. And it's good to try it out on people. Because when you try it out on somebody, you're going to know who they really are. You're going to know if they really want to do this. You're going to want to know if they want to do what they want to do. Because no matter what somebody says to you, if you really want to motherfucking do something, if you really want to get some shit done and enjoy your time here on life, and you think this will make you happy, then you just fucking... You know when somebody says that this sucks, or you know when somebody says that it's not good, or somebody says, oh, that shit's terrible. You know to yourself that it's great. You know to yourself that you believe in yourself because you have read the self-confidence formula. You have decided that you will not be building something on a lie, but on truth and justice. Truth and justice, as our self-confidence formula goes over. It just is simple to do that. It's just real simple to say it. It's real simple to say it. The harder part is to actually believe in the actions. It's hard to affirm to do it. Because words are easy to produce. Words are easy to announce. Words are easy to destroy your brain. Words are easy to make your brain and make a new successful life in Mars. That's what your brain has the power to do, unless you give it commands to give it something different. But at the Wild Thoughts, you guys know I want to become a powerful speaker. So I'm going to give this little insert from the Law of Success in 16 lessons. All right, so here it goes. Let's do this one right now. I am going to be a powerful public speaker because this will enable me to render the world useful service that is needed, and because it will yield me a financial return that will provide me with the necessary material things of life. I will concentrate my mind upon the desire for 10 minutes daily, just before retiring at night and just after arising in the morning, for the purpose of determining just how I shall proceed to transform it into reality. I know that I can become a powerful and magnetic speaker. Therefore, I will permit nothing to interfere with my doing so. And then you sign that at your name. Sign it at the end, all right? If that's what you want to do with your life, if you want to become a powerful speaker, that's what I'm telling you to do. You got to concentrate your mind upon the desires, because the life of a magnetic speaker must have been a part of my life. Or is it? Through the power of autosuggestion, our time is truly not that precious. The time is over almost immediately, and time is not important. The thought of being a blimp of time has been past. For as long as your breath is there, you are now. For as long as I have been alive, I have been taught that time is money. But I have come to the realization that even after death, time will continue. Time will keep pressuring and condensing your bones to be part of the earth, to give another molecule time. Now your breath is capable of living past your death. So fuck this shit of measuring time for every part of your life. We know and we are aware that our true power and unlimited forces come through our breathing. With breath comes more responsibility. With breath, we are still able to autosuggest what we truly are. With breath, we can be the captain of our fate and masters of our infinite intelligence that is around us and in us. Our time is not important. Our breath is breath. Breath is who we become. Breath is how we can control our emotions. Breath is the beginning of the soul. Count your breath, for the blessings you are wasting is due to the lack of counting your breath. Keep breathing. Let go of the time. The breath is yours. Wow, I really enjoyed that one, actually. Just pulled that one out of the top of my head. So I hope you like that. Whoa, wow, we're at 27 minutes. I was talking about the time. But I'm also talking about breath the time, too. That's hilarious. So before we jump out today, before we hit our 30 minutes, you know what time of day it is. It's that time of day where we go over our self-confidence formula. Why? Just because we're getting close to the end of the course. We're almost 30 minutes in. And you guys know that I like to do around 30 minutes that way. Because if your drive is more than 30 minutes, you need to start doing something else with your life. You're wasting too much time driving, probably. So before we sign off today, before we fall asleep and hit our beautiful flat faces on a beautiful flat pillow that is soft, 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 let's think about our self-confidence formula. Let's indulge into the self-confidence formula. Let's prove to ourselves that we understand the self-confidence formula and how we can believe in ourselves and believe in those who work with us, around us, and all the plants and trees and animals that keep us in harmony through the self-confidence formula. Let's go ahead and start it right now. First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, aggressive, and continuous actions towards its attainment. I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind eventually reproduce themselves in an outward bodily action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my mind for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to be, by creating a mental picture of this person and then transforming that picture into reality through practical services. I know that through the principle of auto-suggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of it, realizing it. Therefore, I shall devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of the factors named in the 16 lessons of this reading course on the laws of success. You know what's really funny about that? Is that I shall devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of the factors. What does it say in the very powerful, how to become a very powerful public speaker? for 10 minutes daily. For 10 minutes daily. Now you're thinking to yourself probably, and you hear, before we go on to the fourth success formula, you're probably thinking to yourself, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes here. It's going to be all day. Guys, you can figure it out. You can figure out how to wrap your 10 minutes so it's all into one. You can do it on your damn drive home. You could do it on your motherfucking time when you're taking a poop. You can do it 10 minutes when you're doing your 155 push-ups, just to think and develop what you want in your life. Just take that 10 minutes while you do your push-ups, 10 minutes while you do your yoga, 10 minutes while you do your 100,000 mile sprints. Just think about it for 10 minutes. Because you get your 10 minutes in, you're getting closer to your definite chief aim. So let's get back into the self-confidence formula. We are on the fourth one, if you're following along. I have clearly mapped out and written down a description of my definite purpose in life. For the coming 5 years, I have set a price on my service for each of those 5 years, a price that I intend to earn and receive through strict application of the principle of efficient, satisfactory service, which I will render in advance. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to me the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because I will first serve them. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my entire life, so that I will become a successful and happy worker in my chosen field of endeavor. Well, guys, that's the self-confidence formula for you. I know we've gone over it many, many times, and you have enjoyed it probably every single time, just as I have, because it just gets your fucking brains flowing. Gives you a little boost and a little happiness for the motherfucking couple seconds that you got to breathe. And I wanted to go over one more thing before I called this show over, just because when I was going through the self-confidence formula, something reminded me of something I was listening to this morning on the good old great YouTubes. And this guy was talking about giving 10% of your money to a charity. 10% of your money to a charity. Any charity. Give it to your money to the charity. That's what he was saying. And I don't have a problem with that at all. It's actually really good. But what if we came out with a new concept? What if we just give like 100% of our money away? What do you think would happen? How would you live your life if you were giving 100% of away? If you gave $900 for rent, $1,000 for rent, $3,000 for rent. All right, you're paying your car bill, you're paying this bill. The way I'm trying to figure it out, the way I'm looking at it is a little different, and I'm trying to figure out what this means, this 10% thing. Like, how long has it been here? How long is 10% gone? Because when I think about it, they say if you give 10%, it will go back. What if you just give 100% of it? Then 100% plus will come back. It just makes sense, because whenever you do a transaction, whether it be at a coffee shop, going to Starbucks, whether you're going to do something else, pay water bill, pay your electricity bill, because my electricity and water is on. That's why I thought of it. You pay those bills, and someone else gets that money, and they pay that money to someone that works in the company, and then that guy goes out and he spends something, and then that money eventually returns back into some form or another the same money that you had. It's just amazing, and I think that's the idea of the note, the little tenders that pay off all debts. All right? Well, guys. Well, women. Well, people that are human becomings. It's another Sunday somber knowledge strip. So until next time, remember to live your life, your best life. Find the Law of Success book. Write down a few of your definite chief aims. Move and act on your thoughts. And then breathe, motherfucker. Keep on breathing. Until next time, this has been Wild Thoughts with your host, The Big Bang. Bye.